Hey everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at something I think all of us can relate to, waiting.
Yeah. It's one of those universal experiences, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And we're coming at this from a devotional angle today.
Right.
We've got a devotional entry that really digs into Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31.
Looking at how that verse can help us think about, well, waiting on the Lord, you know,
Yeah.
what that really means for us.
So to kick things off, how about we just jump right into the verse itself? Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. Phew. I feel like I need some of that renewed strength just thinking about all the things I'm waiting on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
Right. And I think that's what makes this verse so powerful. It speaks to a very human need.
For sure. But I'm also curious about this idea of waiting on the Lord. What does that really look like in practice? You know, because the devotional kind of hints that it's not just about sitting around being passive.
Yeah, it definitely emphasizes that it's an active process. It's not just about sort of, twiddling your thumbs and waiting for something to happen. It's about this really trust-filled engagement with your faith.
So it's more about, I guess, like a posture of the heart, not necessarily about inactivity.
Exactly. And the Hebrew word that's often translated as wait in this verse
Mhm.
also carries this sense of hope and expectancy, even clinging to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's not this passive thing. It's about being active in your faith with this kind of anticipation of what God will do.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. But I got to be honest, sometimes waiting feels more like weakness than strength. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It can be super tough.
Like when you're praying for something and it just feels like nothing is changing, how does that actually renew your strength?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it is hard, I mean. But what the devotional points to is that, the strength we gain through waiting is a different kind of strength.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's about resilience, or maybe even like a clearer sense of purpose. This sense that emerges as you wait and trust.
So it's almost like a muscle you're building
Yeah,
by learning to trust God's timing.
exactly. And it's interesting because this particular verse, it comes from a section of Isaiah that's known as Comfort for the Exiles.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was written for people who, they felt abandoned by God. They were desperate for hope. And so when you think about that context, it makes this promise of renewed strength, well, I think even more powerful.
Absolutely. It suddenly makes you realize that waiting is not a new problem. This is something people of faith have grappled with for like centuries.
Oh, totally. And the devotional really encourages us to reflect on that. Like, what area of your life are you waiting on God in right now?
That's such a good question, especially as we think about this as a morning devotion.
Right?
It's like
Mhm.
that little nudge to start your day off with that trust, with that reminder that God's timing is perfect.
Exactly. And to think about how you can actually lean into that waiting. Like what are some practical steps you can take? Journaling, prayer, even just talking it out with a friend.
I love that. It's all about finding ways to process what's going on inside, right? And you know what? The devotional actually ends with a beautiful prayer that kind of sums this all up.
Oh, yeah.
Lord, give me strength and faith as I wait on your perfect timing. Amen. It's so simple, but so powerful.
It really ties it all together. And before we wrap things up, I just want to leave you with a thought to ponder.
Okay, hit me with it.
How might actively waiting on the Lord change your perspective on those things? Those areas where you feel stuck right now.
Ooh, now that is something to think about.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive today.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
And remember, even in the waiting, there's so much room for growth and for renewal. We'll see you next time.